All right, so the next step in our process as we start to implement profitable accrues into Sean's business is to jump over to the tab called Design the Game. And so this is really important because this is designing that triple win, how your customers are going to win, how your employees are going to win, and obviously how you are going to win the net profit game. So there's a couple of tabs that need to be filled in. You'll see them here in the tan color. You're going to go and you're going to look at your case study and you're going to look at what is the hourly wage we pay for the foreman on Sean's crew. And once you go and take a look, you'll quickly see that it's $32 an hour is what we are paying the foreman on Sean's crew. And the next person is the technician, and it says that we pay the technician $20 per hour. And what you'll see here is it is doing the math for you, saying that if somebody worked 40 hours a week at $32 an hour, they would make $12.80. Same at 40 hours a week, they'd make $800, and then it's multiplying it out across so you can see what the annual compensation would be. The next piece of information that we need to put in is what is the direct labor cost? And if you go and you read the case study, we've broken that out and told you what it is. You would also see it on the income statement if you went over here to the cost of goods sold, and you would see that the direct labor is 18%. So we'll jump back into the design game and we will put 18%. And automatically what's going to happen is it's going to tell us we break even at $11,556. But what we want to figure out is when we instill the profitable crew model, what do we think our actual weekly revenue will jump to? And so this is, again, designing it so that we can show our employees what they can expect to make. But first, we have to design this and model it so that we're going to be able to have those conversations to incentivize our employees. So we're going to go over and we're going to say, they're going to grow by 15%, which means revenue is going to go to 115. So 115 per month, still the same two crews, it jumps to 13,269. So we're going to come in over here under revenue for weekly and we're going to say, well, what would happen if we did 13,269? And so the calculator will go through, and what it's doing is it's subtracting that increase from the 11,556, and then it's taking 18% of that and saying it's a bonus. So in this particular case, it's saying the weekly bonus for the crew is going to be $308, and so it's applying 61% of that to the foreman and 38% to the technician, and it's purely based on what they get paid. It's a weighted average, so your crew costs $52 an hour. 61% of that money is going to the foreman, 38% is going to the technician, and so it will apply that bonus to them. Then as you scroll down, you'll see it tells you what their weekly pay is going to be and what their effectively hourly rate is going to be. So the foreman jumps to $37 an hour and the technician jumps to $23 an hour. Now the nice thing about this is you can come back and say what would happen if they increase their production by 30%. So now it would be at 130,000. And again, we would see that, okay, it jumps to 15,000 per week per crew. And so we would model that and say, all right, what happens here is at 15,000, there's $620 in bonus that's going to be paid out. So your crew foreman would get $1,662 and your technician would get $1,038. And so their effective rate has jumped to $42 and $26. Now again, remember, this incremental increase is not a base pay. This is just compensation. It's variable pay above their base. And so right now what ends up happening is your foreman is averaging $42 an hour and your technician is averaging $26 an hour. But remember, if we see that 30% increase, Sean's income goes from $5,000 a month to $17,000 in terms of operating profit. So yes, his employees are making more per hour. They're super motivated. And yes, Sean is making a ton more profit and he's super motivated. And one of the things that we implement with the profitable crew model is we make sure that at the end of the job, that the crew foreman is responsible for getting the customer to sign off that they are happy with the experience. It's a 5-star review. So the employees are really engaged in making sure that the customer is happy. They get sign off from the customer that the customer is happy. So that means you have a happy customer, you have a happy employee, and you have a happy owner because everybody is winning in this model. So you can play with this and see exactly what is happening in Sean's business, whether they grow by 15% production or 30%. You can go back and do it at 10%, and the model will show you exactly what your employees will be making, as well as what you as an owner would be making different if you went through and did this. So this is exactly what happens when you implement this into a business. The employees became very motivated and they're going to work harder, which means production per week is going to go up, which is why you see that 15 to 30% increase. It creates alignment on everybody on the team, alignment with the customer, alignment with the business owner, and alignment with the employees. So everybody wins. And that's really what makes it a super fun and self-managing kind of crew, is making sure that alignment is in place.